Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Charmaine and today we will be doing like a recreation sort of makeup tutorial featuring Nikki Makeup's latest Sunday tutorial makeup look. And I watched the entire tutorial and I was like quite inspired to do something about it. I was actually going to wait till I ran to a Sephora to get myself a blue mascara so that I can actually recreate exactly what she did. But I was just laying in bed thinking that I don't really have something to film for today's video. So I thought, well, my last video was me roasting the F out of the Urban Decay Wired collection, and I was just singing praises to this wonderful palette over here, which is the Urban Decay Electric palette, which is the greatest creation ever with all these bright ass colors. And of course, I'm not saying that I look anything like the model, so my eye shapes and hers are totally different. My face shape is also different as well. I sort of adapted that makeup look that Nikki did on her model to fit my type of eye shape and what I feel like is the best method to create such a look for Asian eyes. So yeah, I hope that that will be helpful for anyone of you out there who has eye shapes like mine and are looking for a way to like wear colors in an effective way. So without further ado, if you're interested in seeing how I recreated this makeup look over here onto my face, then just please keep on watching. So to save time, I already done my base, put my hair back and have my brows on, some contour. So I'm just gonna go straight into eyes, and I'm just gonna use this, my only green liner in my collection. This is the ColourPop Crème Gel Liner in the shade Electric Daisy. It's like this neon greeny color. I'm gonna try to follow Nikki Makeup's tutorial as closely as I possibly can. There are a couple of items I don't have, so it's not gonna be exactly the same, but you know. She kind of colored the entire lid in with her green liner. What was hers? Hers was like a... it was like a Dior sort of color, and then she blended it out, didn't she? I don't think the color is gonna turn out the same because the electric palette as well as this liner is all a lot more neon than... oh my god, I got it in my... okay, I'm back. Crisis averted. I can still see. I think I was talking about like how much more neon and cool toned this look will be compared to the one that Nikki does. I hope it turns out well though. I'm not really very good at following instructions and directions and tutorials. I tend to end up like bored halfway and then I'll go off to kind of do my own rendition of things halfway through. Building up the color to the intensity that I want. Okay, I think that's about as even as I'm gonna get them. This liner is not the best for the job, but it's better than a liner. Alright, and it stained my fingers sort of greeny. Nikki does go in with like a darker forest green eyeliner on the outside edges, but I don't have one, so I'm just gonna skip that step and use eyeshadow instead. So I'm just gonna go into my electric palette. So with my ColourPop E4 flat shader brush, I'm just gonna go into Freak over here. It's like a shimmery Hulk green shade, I would say. And I'm just gonna focus that on, like kind of pat it on the outer and inner corners. Of my eyes. Nikki did do this makeup look in sort of like a halo eye format, and I really like that technique on my own eyes. And I'm just gonna sort of slightly blend this out with this flat shader brush. The color is really sticking very well to the liner. I'm leaving a little space in the middle for the yellow shade later. I'm pulling my eyeshadow out in a more cat eye shape because that's just the silhouette that flatters my eye shape a lot more. Then when I have something like this, I'm just gonna wipe off the flat shader brush, and then I'm gonna go into Thresh over here, which is like our chartreusey neon yellowy sort of shade in place of her yellow shade. And then just gonna put it where she put it in her video, which is like in the middle. But she mentioned that she doesn't bring it all the way down to the eyelashes. I mean the lash line. And just putting a layer after layer of the color to intensify the color more and more till I feel like it's enough color. And then where I think the brush can't blend, I'm just gonna go in my fingers to help with the blending a little bit. Just because the Thresh shade is a little bit too green for the look, I'm gonna go into this ColourPop pigment over here, and this is called Full For You. It's just a shimmery yellow pigment, and I'm just gonna go into the same brush that I wiped off a little and dip it into the pot. This is called a pot? I guess it's called a pot. And tap off as much as I can. Then I will just pat it where Thresh went on to just intensify the yellow a little bit. And you can already tell that it got a little bit more yellow than before, so that's good. Also, why am I so overexposed? Hold on. Okay, that's probably better. So next I'm just gonna go into this Gonzo shade right here. It's like our aquatic cyan blue. Then I'm just gonna go pat this on the outer corners of the eye to give some depth and definition to the eye. I'm being very careful to not put too much pigment down at one time and focusing on blending the color out into the greens. I just want like a light wash of this color instead of a statement blue winged look. At this point, to sort of make up for the fact that I didn't have a darker green eyeliner, I'm gonna go into this color fringe right here on the same brush. That's gonna act as our outer crease deepening color to add even more depth to the look. And a little touch in the inner corners to kind of balance out the look a little. Just remember to blend everything with my fingers. And then at this stage, I think we're done with the top of the lids, and I'm just gonna, in place of blue liners, because I don't have any, I'm gonna go into Chaos over here, which is the prettiest matte royal blue shadow, cobalt blue. I'm just kind of loading it into the brush and kind of pressing it into my brush a little by kind of... You can use the back of your hands for this. I just happen to have like a dirty tissue on hand, so I'm just gonna do this on the brush. So I'm just picking up pigment and pressing it into the bristles, and picking up pigment and repeating the process till I'm happy with it. And then making sure that it's only on the tips. I'm gonna just opening my eyes a little and pulling my eyelids down a little bit, or like my lower eyes a little bit. I'm just gonna fix that foundation hole later, but I'm just gonna kind of tap it onto my waterline, like so. You want to be very careful when you do this because you don't want to go blind. Gonna go into the inner corners as well. So at this point you kind of have like a inner and outer corner sort of thing. And I also bring it up a little into this area over here. And then when it looks messy like this, I'm gonna go back into Gonzo, doing the same thing with my brush. Pat it into the middle portion where it's empty right now. Look up into my mirror and pull down my lid a little bit so that I can tap that gonzo color into the middle of my lower lash line. I think this is a really good tip for those of us, including me, who don't own too many colorful eyeliners but have a lot of colorful eyeshadows. You can totally recreate that liner look with just very pigmented eyeshadows. I'm also gonna push some of that Chaos shade, which is the dark blue, into the upper waterline area by looking down into my mirror like so that I can just kind of press it into that lash line area as gently and as carefully as I can, so that I get like a blue rim all around my eyes like so. And then I'm just gonna focus on like kind of blending out the top lashes a little bit so that it's more like a seamless blend. Now when we're at this stage and the lower lashes still look really messy and unattractive, I'm gonna use a little pencil brush like this, and without any additional product, I'm just gonna blend this inner corner right here, as Nikki said to do, to sort of give it a little bit more of like a finished effect. I'm just gonna do the same for the entire lash line as well. Dragging and blending and buffing. Basically blend everything downwards a little more to make it look more seamless. And also I've found that by dragging it down a little bit, especially for eyes like mine, it frames the eye a lot better than actually leaving it close to the rim. I think if you have a certain type of eye shape, you can actually stop here and you'll still look okay. But for me, I feel like it's a little, because my eyes are on the smaller side, it looks a little like, I don't know, it made my eyes look very beady and not too attractive looking. To combat that, firstly, I'm just gonna go back into like this freak color over here on my pencil brush, and I'm just gonna sort of repeat what I did on top to my bottom lashes as well. I mean like my bottom lash line as well in terms of colors. So freak first, then I go in with thresh on the middle parts. I'm going in with a bit of fringe on the outer corner here, and then kind of connect it to the top a little bit to create a better V shape on the outer corners of the eyes, to create the illusion of longer eyes. Then I'm just gonna blend down whatever's in my waterline a lot more by just going back into Chaos and just kind of top up the color and then also bring it down a lot more to make sure that the lower lash line is well smoked. I'm just also going to line the top of my lash line with this Chaos shade very closely to the lash line to intensify the look a lot more, and kind of concentrate the color a little bit more here where I make it thicker and also on the outside. So it's still sort of like a shadow, but I leave this area in the middle clear to create that continuation of that halo eye look, which opens up the center of our eyes as well. Once that's done, you can see that it's a lot more blended, more smoked out, and a lot nicer on my eyes than before, thankfully. I'm just gonna go into a little bit of thresh over here, tap it off, and kind of run it very lightly in the center once again. And then with whatever's left, I'm just gonna run it like sort of on the boundaries that demarcates the shadow from my skin color, to sort of like blend it back into the skin a little more. Not too much, you don't have to have a lot of color payoff for this part of the process. This way you give the look a lot more of like a finished effect. And to finish off everything, I'm just gonna go back into this yellow pigment, the full for you pigment from ColourPop, dip it into my pencil brush right here, and I'm just gonna layer over top of where brush was placed in the lower center area of the lower lid. Lower center in the lower area where I put brush. So sort of really like copying whatever happened on the top lid onto the bottom. And then make sure to blend out everything very well. I don't own blue mascara, so that's where I'm gonna start totally deviating from the final look. So instead of blue mascara, I'm just gonna go in with like the standard black, which is going to bring the look a little further away from what Nicki Makeup's makeup look looked like. So for today, I'm using my D.UP, what's it called? Ultra Fiber Mascara. The fibers are really hard to maneuver around. But if I really have the time to really take my time with building this up, it actually gives my lashes a really nice, fluffy and oh my god. I'm just gonna leave that smudge there because I'm just gonna flick it off with like some Q-tip later. But yeah, it just gives my lashes that sort of long and fluffy looking, almost natural my lashes but better look. Because I don't intend to use any sort of false lashes today. Okay, I also added some of my very overdue and expired ColourPop BFF mascara in black on black. So I tried to do like those fat and fanned out fluffy lashes that the model has going on that makeup look, but in black. Okay, so now that we're a little further away from each other, there's actually no fallout anywhere near my face, so that's pleasantly surprising. It's so good. Nicki used like a pinky sort of blush on the model, and I'm just gonna go in with this standard for me. This is the ColourPop Disney Collection Kissing a Frog blush, and it looks like this. It's like a rosy pinky sort of blush shade. I really like how it looks on my skin, so I'm just gonna use this. And instead of where I usually put my blush, Nicki put the blush sort of like on the contoury area of the cheek, higher up on the cheekbones. And then she also added some blush on the forehead area around here. Sort of like a draping method almost. For highlight, Nicki used the Fenty Water Bread highlighter that was really glittery and pinky, and I don't have anything like that in my collection. So instead of using an actual highlighter, I'm going to use this two loose pigment from ColourPop as well. These are from the Kathleen Lights collection, the collaboration with Kathleen Lights. This one is the Scales, and this is the Maiden. And I'm just gonna make my little concoction of a highlighting shade with these two, because this is a little bit too pink and this one is a little bit too white. So I'm just gonna use something like this, which is like a fluffier brush that kind of fits onto my cheekbones like so, and just gonna kind of dip it into both shades right here. And when I have my brush dipped into both, I'm just gonna mix it on the back of my hand like so, to sort of try to incorporate the product well. And then when I'm done pushing everything into the bristles, I'm just gonna go back in one more time into the Maiden shade, which will give me another dose of that white shade, because I just don't want it to be too pink on my skin. And yep, I think that's the color that went onto the model's cheekbones. It looks very much like water bread from Fenty Beauty. This is the side without the highlight, and this is the side with the pretty much blinding highlight. I'm not used to such a blinding highlight anymore. Then with just the Maiden shade, I'm just gonna dip a little bit into the brush again, onto the tips, like on the very tip of the brush. And I'm just gonna kind of highlight my nose a little with that shade. I just need to like at least deposit the color well before I go in with a finger that's not tinted green. And tap it and blend it into the nose here. And whatever's left over, I'm just gonna put it onto this area right here to give more shine. When we have this done, I think our last step is to do our lips. For the lips, I think I'm just gonna do something very similar to what Nicki has done. On her model, she used like a peachy pink, more like a peachy nude sort of lipstick color. I'm gonna mix two colors. So I'm gonna go in with this Cute Press collaboration with Disney lip and cheek gel or something. It's in the color 03 Sunkissed 10, and I'm just gonna use this to sort of color in the outside corners of my lips like so. I'm gonna avoid the actual center Cupid's bow area of my lips, and I'm gonna like blot as I'm doing this. And then when I have something like this, I'm going to go in with this YSL lipstick. This is the Rouge Volupte Shine in number 8, and I'm just gonna put it all over, centering the color on the middle portions of the lips. I'm just gonna move my lips around when I blot, like so, and that will kind of blend in that. I just licked my lipstick. And that will kind of blend in that pink and tan color together, and it will create sort of like this almost three-dimensional effect that is very close to that peachy nude color that the model has on her face. And then this is the makeup done. How did I fare compared to how Nicki Makeup did hers? I actually don't mind that my eyelashes aren't blue right now, because I think it looks really good with black mascara as well. It's gonna be so much more editorial with like the blue lashes. So, well, if you have blue mascara, all the more you should do it. I think it will look stunning with this look. I think I did a really good job trying to recreate what Nicki did on her model. I'm of course not Nicki Makeup, so I'm not as talented as her, and I don't have as much experience doing makeup as she has. But it was very fun doing this look, trying out new techniques, as well as using my beloved Urban Decay electric palette that I haven't used in such a long time. And as I told you earlier, there was like no fallout, which is insane for a palette this pigmented. And honestly speaking, I have owned this for like a good, I want to say 7 years, but I have a feeling it's longer than that. 7-8 years. And like for an eyeshadow that old, it still performs really very well. Like everything comes out so pigmented and nice, and it blends so well. I was very happy that I decided to do this video, and I have proven my point once again that it is a really good palette, and I am still very upset the Wired collection. And so with that said, I think we're at the end of today's video. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end if you did, and if you enjoyed watching me recreate this makeup look, please give me a thumbs up, and also consider subscribing to my channel down below. The button is right there beside my name. It is free, and also consider clicking on the notification bell if you want to. It will tell you when I upload a new video. I'm definitely one of the ones who YouTube will probably recommend the least because I'm so small, I'm assuming. And also, if you want to follow me on Instagram, my handle is SharmeenCCW right here, and I post a lot more like makeup looks, makeup videos, like tutorials, like the simpler ones that don't require a whole YouTube video to do. Yeah, I do a lot of those there, so make sure to go check me out there as well. And do I need to tell you anything else? Also, tell me how well you think I did with this recreation of that makeup look that Nicki Makeup did, and comment it down below. I'll definitely be looking forward to reading your comments there as well. And thank you so much once again for watching all the way to the end, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye!